Alright, very good morning everybody from Captain Nabs here. Welcome back to the channel, the Twitch channel, the YouTube channel, whichever channel you like to watch. We're here to provide some entertainment and some more live streaming of my a pilot's life career on Simbit World's Pilot Life. So welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we are picking up where we left off last time. For those of you that don't recognize the airport, the control tower in the background there, she's pretty distinctive, but this is Edmonton. We're currently in Edmonton, and we are prepping for a flight today to take us from Edmonton back down to Calgary. Here's a quick look at my profile. It's a new month. I got paid a little bit. It wasn't very much, but my bank balance is up to $325 as a junior FO. I am not making very much in this business, but here's my progress right now. Another less than 15 experience points, and I'm going to be a regular first officer here at WestJet Encore. And with that, I believe I do get a salary bump. So I'm looking forward to that a little bit. However, I don't know if I'll even make it that far because I'm also thinking about changing companies. I've enjoyed flying the Dash 8, but we're thinking about moving companies by the time we finish our schedule. So here is a quick look at our schedule. It's coming up here. So we've got a flight today, Edmonton to Calgary, and that's a pretty quick little flight. It's less than an hour in the air, so we'll probably move on after that to the Calgary Fort St. John run. That's going to be a little bit longer, up into northern, I believe it's northeastern BC, or it might be northwestern Alberta. I'm really honestly not that familiar with this part of the world. So either way, you know, we'll try and get this Calgary run out of the way quickly so we can get up to Fort St. John. There's no really great scenery for Fort St. John, but there is Orbx freeware scenery, so it's better than just a default airport, so it doesn't look too bad. But it's a fun place. It's fun to go to places you've never been to, see new airports you've never seen before. So that's kind of what my goal is in this now, is to go and explore some of these airports I've never been to. So that's what we're going to be doing, hopefully today. One thing I will point out here before I close this Simbit World Pilot Life here screen, first of all, here's our current flight for today, just to, for the first leg at least anyways, and we'll see if we have time, we'll definitely do the second leg. Edmonton, Calgary, pretty straightforward route. But one thing that did happen since the last stream is Simbit World released version 1.5. And in version 1.5, they have finally added something to this reports page here. So now we have the ability to generate some reports about our life here, our career as a pilot. It's pretty basic right now, but it is nice because it gives you some information, so you can have a look at your flight hours, experience points, money for any particular period. You can pick up a predefined period. You could do last year, current year, or you could just see your entire career. My career's been pretty short, so I can generate this report pretty easily, and it's not going to be a whole lot on there. And there you go, just some nice reporting of what you've done. I do like this trend. It's amazing what a little bit of reporting will show you. My ability and time to apparently get some flying and get some streaming done has just been decreasing ever since I started using the software about 4 or 5 months ago, I guess. First month I logged almost 8 hours. Second month down to about just under 6. Then 4, 3.5, 2 3/4. So now we're up into March of 2020. Let's see how many hours we can get in here. You can see the breakdown by airline and type, and of course it's been solidly just one type. So yeah. It seems like it's not that my enthusiasm for the product has waned, but just simply finding time, especially longer legs, finding the time to get a stream in, is getting harder and harder, and as the legs get longer, if I go work for an airline that does long-haul flying, getting these streams in is going to be very tough. I don't know that it's going to work out all that well. The short legs, the Dash 8 legs, work quite well. They're an hour and a half, 2 hours. You can easily stream it, you can chat, you can get things done, but when you talk about long-haul flying, it's going to become very challenging to get that done. But nevertheless, you can generate reports. You can even print them out if you want to report of any particular period of time. If I just look at the current year, for example, and just hit generate report, just to give a different example, it just shows a different amount of information. Same basic stuff. I can look at my experience points as well and see how I've been generating those in my pilot's career here. This has leveled off a little bit more because as I've gotten more experience, and especially as I got my first inventory item, which is a badge that gets me a 5% experience point bonus, less hours is working out to still the same amount of experience points, give or take. So good to see that they finally got their last feature out here. That is the last of the originally roadmap features for this software, but I feel like the developer is not going to stop there. And if I don't know if they're going to watch this at all, but if I can offer a piece of advice to the developer on how they can further enhance the software, my biggest suggestion is to go to the generate schedule setup and increase the amount of options and perhaps the realism of the schedule generation feature, because I think the schedule generation feature is probably what really truly makes this software. Without that, it would just be another flight tracker. It wouldn't be very exciting. But the schedule generation, creating schedules for you to fly based on real-world airline routes and doing turns in and out of stations and whatnot, very realistic. I like it. I think it's a very, it's a great. That's what really has made the software compelling, and I'm curious to continue to move forward with it. But there's so much more you can do to generate a schedule and make it a realistically generated schedule. Suggestions I would have might be to take a lot of input from real-world scheduling software. So perhaps bid points or bid in order of stations you'd like to visit, stations you'd like to avoid. Perhaps maybe have the schedule be specific to aircraft types. Encore only flies one aircraft type, but for the airlines that have multiple types, you bid to only fly a specific type of aircraft, perhaps. Really, in this, and I didn't realize it, but there's no specification of what aircraft type you're supposed to have to fly a flight, which is fine, but I think it would add just that much more realism. And again, I would not say make it something mandatory for everybody to do, but some people I think would enjoy that, I would only like to see flights for this type of aircraft at the airline, or maybe these two types of aircraft at a particular airline. Things like that. That's where I think they can grow the software a little bit more, as they can add more options to the schedule generation feature to try and make it more realistic. The other suggestion I had that I thought would be really interesting would be to simulate seniority at a company too. So based on how long you've been at the company, how many flights you've done, and how big the company is in general. It's a small company. Like Encore's not a huge company, 40 airplanes. It's not tiny, but it's not, it's no Delta Airlines or anything. The schedule that you generate when you're lower in the seniority list is not nearly as good as perhaps, as you start to become more mature in a company, then you get a better and better schedule, more and more of what you're looking for. Because still, I think they should assign some randomness to it. You will get some things you ask for, you won't get some things you ask for, but the longer you've been at a company, the more it's weighted towards, you're probably going to get what you ask for. Gives you a good reason not to just jump ship, change companies every single month, because you'll build up some seniority at a company. Interesting ideas anyways. I don't know if they're going to go with it, but that was my suggestion to them, was to make the schedule generation perhaps even more realistic, because I think that will add a lot to the software. I think that's the best part of the software, is the schedule generation. So if they can make that even better, add some more options to it, I think that's going to improve it that much more. I would have talked about that in flight, but as we determined on my last stream, you can't actually look at that screen once you're flying. And actually what I should do before I do anything else is make sure I'm on the current flight screen here, so that when I do take off or when I do start my engines, the flight automatically starts on this screen here. As you can see, we're here with the Encore WestJet Dash 8. As you can see up in the corner, we got the FS2 crew ready to go. Let's hop in. Let's try and get something done here. I see that it's snowing out there, and the fact that it's snowing means that we really can't do one thing I was kind of hoping to do today. And I was going to try and muddle my way through it a little bit. It wasn't going to be great, but I was going to try and do some single engine taxi out. However, anytime you have a contaminated surface, you should not be doing... Does it seem quiet in here, or is it just me? I guess because nothing's on. Yeah, nothing's on. Okay. Whenever you're doing single engine taxi, whenever you're thinking about single engine taxi, you should not be thinking about it if there's contamination outside. When there's contamination outside, control of the aircraft can be more difficult, and having asymmetric thrust from having one engine running and not the other does not aid directional control. So generally, I think most airlines will have a policy against single engine taxi during any kind of contamination. I see snow. It doesn't look like it's accumulated on the ramp, but I do see it snowing out there, so probably single engine taxi, not a good idea today. But we will get in here and we'll get this flight underway. It shouldn't take us too long. It's less than an hour to get to Calgary. And one thing I should do before I do anything else is grab my checklist and do this properly. Follow my FS2 crew checklist if I can find it here. There it is. Sorry for the jumpiness there as I look for my checklist. And do my power on checklist. So flight deck power up. Aircraft flight log has been checked. Circuit breakers checked.
Bank angle.
Landing gear down. Radar off. Battery master main, aux standby are all on. Main bus tie is tie. Engine intake bypass doors are open. And position lights are on. Flight deck displays are all on. Standby PTU pumps are off. And emergency brake is on. External power APU. So I see the GPU is out there. So let's go ahead and give this a try. And external power is on. And you can see the door lights come on. Everything else starts to come on. Good. The one thing I should also get on as well is the FMSs should be turned on. And the ARC2 is already on. Main and landing gear doors pull. So some companies make this standard policy to help with the walk around so you can see more. Pop the gear doors and have a quick look inside the gear base. Safety equipment and documents checked, FMS initialized. Well, they're being initialized right now. Alright, the power up checklist is complete. And so we're going to get this party started here.
Hey Captain, how are you today?
I am good. And that's all I have to say to him. I am good. No further statements made. Alright. So that's the power up checklist. We are going to go ahead and get started here on getting this airplane prepped for flight. So we'll go through a quick overhead flow, make sure that everything is set up correctly. I'm not going to go through it verbally again, time and time again, because I've gone through it so many times. You know, I can only say it so many times. I mean, really, realistically, you have to go through it all, but it's much faster for me to just simply visually go through it than to actually state every single thing that I'm checking, because my eyes, they've seen this airplane so many times. I shouldn't have a fasten seatbelt sign on because I have not yet verified the fuel load on this airplane. I don't know that it's there. But we can check the caution and advisory lights. Make sure everything is on. Looks good. Auto in, off, jets out. Okay, good. And one thing we'll do here quickly is we will call. Parking is too small for your aircraft. Ground services are not available. Really? This is like, if this is a Dash 8 gate if ever I saw one. Alright. Stand by, guys. I'm going to see if I can fix this really quick.
Now for the walk around.
Thank you. And a quick little GSX tweak later, and we are ready to go here. We will start with refueling. And I'll bring some stuff here. These guys are going to get ready to load in a minute here. And, yeah, so we finished the overhead panel. And let's see here. Let's have a quick look, first of all, at the weather here in Edmonton today. Obviously snowing. What runway are we favoring here? How are we doing? 270 at 10. Alright. So we could do 20 or 28, I believe, are the runways. Alright, we'll bring this Navigraph charts over here really quick and have a look. So winds are out of 270. Why can't I pin this stupid thing? So we could do 30 or 20. I'm going to do 30. I don't know why it's not working, why it's not pinning. Alright, and fuel load. Hold on. SimBrief will give me a fuel load here. We need 6,065. So we'll go with 60% there. I don't think it's going to do anything anyway, so we'll go to the Majestic control panel while I'm just here doing it really quickly. And make sure our fuel is checked here. So we got takeoff fuel. It's estimating our takeoff fuel at 6,000. We'll round it up to 6,100. We're only going to burn about 1,850 on the way down. not that much. Now, loading wise, looking at 71 people. So we'll take one person out of there, one person out of there, and just one person out of there. Alright, got 71 people. Alright, and now we got loading is done. The fuel truck, if he's there. Is he there? He came and left already, didn't he? Fueler's very impatient in this airline. Yeah, so we're going to do runway 30. Either way, it's a pretty long runway. There's my Navigraph chart. Don't know why it wouldn't let me pin things. There we go, that's better. Now the pinning is working properly. I think it just needed a quick little reload there, so now I got this pinned at the bottom there. Alright. So runway 30, just for sake of interest here, the heading is 300. Well, not just for sake of interest, but... so heading's going to be 300. And, where are my charts here? Okay, so first of all, let's have a quick look at our control panel again. So our ZFW is going to be 55, or sorry, our ZFW is 55, our takeoff weight is going to be about 62, 61, 62. Alright, so we're looking at a V1 of 118. Probably with the snowy runway it's going to be less, so we're going to move it down to 111. 118, 118.
Hi guys, do you mind if we start boarding now?
Okay. Sounds good. Yep.
Thanks, I'll be back with the load sheet later.
I knew there was a voice trigger for that somewhere. Okay. I'm obviously looking at the wrong columns here. So, alright. If we do a flap 5 takeoff here, it's going to be 134, which means we'll need about we'll do about 123 for V1. One 134. $142. $154. All right. And the field elevation here is 2,000 something. I've forgotten exactly what it is, but let's just check here. Field elevation in Alberta or in Edmonton is 2373, 2,400. So we gotta get the MDA up to 3,400 for our flap retraction altitude. This is gonna take a couple seconds. Oh, it always does this. Shift my head ever so slightly and. Alright, 3,400. Looks like the altimeter is going to need a little bit of adjusting as well here. There you go, 3,400. The altimeter here in Edmonton is 2951. $2951. 2951. All right. We got that. That should be in taxi. We should also do go around. We do heading alt cell. Make sure the yaw damper's on, and we got the heading 300 already bugged. The altitude here for the SID. Let's have a quick look here. Edmonton 1 departure, I'm going to assume is the one we're doing. Unless ATC comes online and gives me something different, we're going to do Edmonton 1 Switch off around runway 30, climb track 30 to ZNDB, and maintain 6,000 is what I'm looking for here. So 6,000 is the initial altitude. There we go. And yeah, I think we got everything set up there. Alright, just quickly scroll through here. We'll scroll past the FMS for a second here, just make sure everything else flight controlled, disconnects, fuel control, all that good stuff is done. And I guess she said she's going to start boarding, so I should really be calling GSX and asking them to do some boarding as well. And let's just set up the radio really quick here for Unicom. No ATC online this morning yet. Maybe there will be, who knows? But right now it's a Unicom kind of day. And since there's no one to assign us a code, we're going to go to a generic code of, if I can click on it here, 2000. And yeah, let's call GSX and request boarding, please. Alright, and so the only thing left to set up really is the FMS.
Looks good.
Thank you. Alright, there you go. So, flight plan. A really straightforward one because we've done this one before. For those of you that have been watching this series, you know that we did an Edmonton-Calgary leg already a couple of legs ago. This will be the last Edmonton-Calgary leg we do in this particular season anyways, on this particular schedule. Might see another one again sometime. Alright, routing. Pretty straightforward. Antid, CCAN, and the Flame 6. Antid, CCAN, and then the Flame 6. So let's do menu, depart. 30 on the Edmonton 1, runway 30 transition, and there's a ZNDB in there as well, perfect. And then vector over towards Antid, CCAN, and then menu arrive. Sim brief estimates 29 for arrival in Calgary. Anyways, I'll put that in for now. I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll probably most likely switch runways, but let's just do this right now. And I have to open exit 3 to start for this to board properly, so hopefully that does it. So we're going to do... Let's put in runway 29 transition right now, ILS 29, and let's have a quick look at the flight plan and make sure nothing's missing. So, again, pull up the chart. This time we'll have a look at our arrival field here, which for some reason is not showing up here. Oh, because I gotta get rid of that, that's why. Charts list for arrival. Flame 6 arrival for 29 in the 35s. Let's see here. So CCAN, Amuno, Advox. And I think we had Advox in there, so all we need is Amuno. Amuno, however you want to say it. And then we delete the no link, and then we're off to Advox. And then Flame, then Otmag, Demlo, Pendle. Otmag, Demlo, Pendle. That's all there. Good, perfect. Looks like the flight plan is all there. Quick fuel setup here. For the Majestic control panel, our ZFW today is going to be 55,412. And then from SimBrief, our flight plan here says that our alternate's going to require 1514. That's to come right back here into the snowy white north of Edmonton. The final reserve today is incorrect. We're going to round it up to 1400. For some reason it clicked to 35 minutes. I thought I selected 45. But anyways, we'll put 0 for the extra fuel. And the fuel on board right now, we've got, looks like 6100 on the money.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you? I'm doing good.
Time zone out here, mountain time 7 hours. And I think we're good. The only thing I have left to do is Crossville into Buddy's FMS here to make sure that
Morning.
everything's good.
Morning.
Make sure he should be on FMS mode as well. Alright, and he can have the nav page up. And there we go. I think we're just about ready to go. And as you can see here, the originating in orange went away, which means that he's done all his originating flow, and we can get on with our checklist here. So, let's do it this way. Are you ready for the departure briefing?
Go ahead.
Okay, so today we're going to be taxiing out. Sorry, I'm just going to do that and this. Going to be taxiing out in Calgary from gate 7 Delta. That's right up here, as you can see. My icon's loaded on there. For departure runway 30, we'll be probably through the apron, out Oscar and Alpha to hold short of 30 and depart 30. No hotspots along that route. When we depart Edmonton, on the Edmonton 1 departure, it is, as I said, climb track 300 via ZNDB, Devon NDB, expect radar vectors to assigned route, maintain 6,000. 6,000 is, yeah, I can see it set behind there. And the heading again 300, we've also got that set. There's no big notes on the plan. 100 miles safe is 9,200 feet because there's mountains off to the west. The sector altitude around here, the highest one's 4,400. Weather is snowing. We're going to de-ice before we depart. And otherwise, looking good. Operational, I've got no NOTAMs or MELs to report. I think that's about it. Do you have any questions? Any questions?
No questions.
Before start checklist. Before start checklist.
Stand by. Originating checks flow.
Complete.
Complete. Gear pins. Stowed. Pre-flight checks.
Complete.
Complete. External power. APU voltage.
27 volts. On. Checked.
Circuit
27
breakers.
volts.
Circuit breakers.
Checked.
Checked. Escape hatch.
Closed.
No steering.
Off.
Flight guidance control panel. Set. Fuel quantity. 6,107 pounds on board.
6,000 pounds required.
Hydraulic number 3 pressure.
Checked. 0 psi.
Emergency brake. Pressure.
Park. Check.
Power levers.
Disc.
Condition levers.
Fuel off.
Emergency light switch.
Arm.
Descent belt switch.
On.
On. Departure briefing.
Complete.
Complete. Before start, checklist complete.
There we go. I'm getting pretty good at doing this. We're just waiting on the bag loading now. Where are you guys? There you are. That's hilarious. Look, even the GSX luggage carts get snow covered. Wow, that is some advanced effects. Even our little tug driver there. Hold on, let's see. Can I zoom in on him? No, I can't zoom in on him. But look, the luggage snow covered, the carts snow covered. Wow, I had never noticed that before, but I love it. Now, the only thing that's really missing, and this is not GSX's fault at all, is snow coverage on the apron. It's amazing how that makes a real difference for the immersion level 2. Because there's snow on the baggage train, on the wheels as it goes around. And our employees are snow covered. Well, the belt loader seems to be immune to the snow somehow, but... but nevertheless, that's really neat. And there we go. We're looking good. We're already ready to go. Looks like loading is complete. So let's go ahead and bump this up by like...
Hi guys,
5
here's a load
minutes
sheet for you. Have a safe flight.
Thank you. Closing that service door. Looking good. And yeah. I think we got everything covered here. Let me just check on something here. Alright, I think we're good. I'm just checking VATSIM to see if anybody's around. There's one. Nope, there's nobody here in Edmonton except for us, so we're going to push back from the gate, no problem.
Alright guys, everyone's seated. We're all buttoned up and ready to go in the back.
Thank you.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Alright, so he's good to go. I see that main exit's closing. Baggage door, is that going to close on its own? Yep, that closed on its own. There it is. We got 6 in the green. We are ready to go. Rock and roll. Engine start. Oh, I need to unmute that. Engine start checklist to the line.
Battery master, main, auxiliary, standby.
On.
Doors, fueling lights.
Closed and out.
Anti-collision light.
Red.
Engine start checklist completed to the line.
Below the line.
APU bleed.
Off.
Engine, clear on 2.
Clear on 2.
Engine.
Request pushback. Actually, before we start engines, as I pointed out, we should be doing some de-icing. Here comes the de-icing trucks. Not the smoothest driving in the world. I'm not going to complain too much. I'm happy these guys are coming. They're going to follow the taxiway center line over here. But still, that's pretty awesome. Do I have any views from inside the airplane here? I don't think I have any from inside the cabin, do I?
Confirm aircraft is ready for treatment. We begin treatment now and observe. Fluid type 4. Concentration at 100%. I will call you back when ready.
And away we go. De-icing time. Now, I should not have had the beacon on for this. Normally, you would not have the beacon on because you're not going to be starting the engines. I'm just going to leave it for now. See if I can find any other good views while we're de-icing here. Yeah. Literally right over my head here. And that should be about it. They do a really quick job de-icing here. I don't think any real-world de-icing bay is quite that efficient.
De-icing and anti-icing completed. Anti-icing code is fluid type 4. Concentration at 100%. I'm disconnected. Good day.
Alright, thank you. Good day. Alright, you didn't give us the holdover start time. I'm going to say 48 minutes after the hour. And all men and equipment are clear.
Due to icing conditions, stay by the engine start.
There they go. Start 2 for me, please.
Starting 2.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback. Locking gear.
It is SimAddons, you are correct. Alright, looks like a good start on 2. Let's just check this out here. Also going to do a quick edit pushback because I have no idea where we're going to end up here. Since there's nobody else around here, we'll do that.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set. Release parking brakes.
Wow, that's a lot of talking all at once, buddy. But give me a second here. Alright. So first of all, as we were doing here, yes, generator's holding. Flight deck to ground.
Time, please, Captain.
Flight deck to ground. Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
Please disconnect external power.
Roger, disconnecting the GPU.
Release parking brakes.
Alright, good. GPU is gone.
Commencing push.
There we go.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push.
Unfortunately, in this aircraft, we can't start.
GPU is now disconnected.
Thank you. Unfortunately, this airplane, we cannot do this. I like SimAddons a lot. Their scenery is generally very good. I think the colors are sometimes a little bit too intense. The real world things tend to really get washed out. And I hate to insult their scenery because they've done a nice job on these airports with a lot of good buildings, but I think the textures just a little bit too bright sometimes. Could use like some weathering, some texturing to show their age. Start engine 1 for me, please.
Okay.
Start engine 1, please.
Okay.
Start 1 for me, please.
Starting 1.
Set parking brakes.
Yeah, that's what he needed. He needed to hear. If I say start engine, then he thinks it's start again.
Waiting
There you
for
go. Brakes are set.
confirmation for good engine start.
Yeah, like I like the SimAddon scenery a lot, and like right here it looks really good, but I just find that like the buildings themselves, they lack. Oh, you know what happened? My computer rebooted. So we'll just select you. And now, start flight. I had to reboot my computer because something had to update itself. And so I thought I had selected the aircraft type, but I did not. That was before the reboot. Alright, it looks like we got 2 good starts. That's associated with the engine start. Yes, thank you, GSX. Just a second. Good engine start, confirmed. He's coming? Yeah, there he comes to disconnect. Okay, I was going to say, like, just sitting there waiting. Alright, we're getting there, though.
Unlocking gear.
And now, of course, we de-iced, and look, it stopped snowing again. Oh, well.
Disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
I didn't even look up the Type 4 holdover time. I could do it. I actually have a tablet program right here with it. So, you know what? While we're waiting for these guys really quick, I'm going to pull it up just for the sake of completeness, because really you shouldn't, there's no point in de-icing if you don't have a holdover time calculated. So, let's say we've got a temperature of, what is the temperature here? 0 degrees. Okay. And you've got some snow. If we say it is, it looked like it was pretty light there. Type 4 will give us 120 minutes, 2 hours. So I think we're okay there. Alright, he's good, so we're going to go ahead and props to max. And there they go. After start checklist.
Stand by.
Okay, he's got the flaps moved, so I can do the rudder check. And he's going to do check now. I'm just going to talk quietly so it doesn't hear me too loudly while I'm doing this, because sometimes it just gets annoying to mute and unmute everything over and over again.
External power, APU.
Off.
Main bus tie.
Off.
Ice protection.
Check level 1.
Check. Level 1. Rudder travel.
Check full travel. Full travel.
Air steering.
On.
Auto feather.
Auto feather select.
Engine rating.
End top. Leads on. End top. End top checked. End top 90% checked.
Batteries.
On. Oh wait. Checked.
Flaps.
5 set and indicating.
5 set and indicating. Auxiliary standby PTU pumps.
On.
On. Hydraulic pressure quantity.
On. Sorry, checked. Checked.
Checked. Hydraulic number 3 in elevator. Checked. Caution warning lights.
Checked.
Flight instruments. Radios.
Checked.
Checked. Altimeters.
2951 cross check. 2951 cross check. 2951 set cross check.
2951 set. Cross check. After start checklist complete.
Okay, let's get rid of that doors page because I don't need that anymore. Clear on the left.
And we are clear on the right.
See, and he did it again. The FO keeps forgetting to take the control locks off. And I don't know why. I'm going to mute him so I can talk about it. Don't listen to anything I'm going to say. I don't know why he keeps doing that, because it's the FO's role as part of the after start checks to get the control locks off, so I find it funny he's not doing that. Set taxi light to on.
Taxi light set to on.
Thank you. I think here they have a CDF as well. I'm pretty sure that over here they have, yeah. I think there's some Deicing truck sitting right there, but... And I like the SimAddon stuff, but I'm just not going to have to spend some time figuring it out. I haven't done it here. I'm not going to spend some time during the stream trying to figure this out. Cut the FO's pay. It's funny because I'm supposed to be the FO here, according to Simbit World. Don't cut my pay. Barely make any money as it is. I got paid like $40 last month. I gotta up my work, up my amount of work I get done here. All right, so we're gonna head over to Oscar over there.
Light deck. Okay, thanks. Captain, they're secure in the back.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you can. The SimAddon scenery has some de-icing here. I'm not going to worry about it right now. I do like the GSX de-icing. Some places, in Canada it's becoming less and less common, definitely. A lot of places in the US they still de-ice at the gate, but in Canada it's becoming a lot less common for de-icing to occur at the gate. But the GSX integration is so tight, it's like it just asks you when you're ready for pushback. Oh, do you want to de-ice by the way too? Like, yeah, of course. Whereas here you can come here and the vehicles are there, but it just, yeah. Also, if I want to try and get 2 legs done today, we got a motor. We can't be dilly-dallying here. I don't know if I'm going to have time. I got some other things I've got to get done today, but we'll see. Pity there's not more airplanes parked here sometimes. And I've thought about traffic packages too, and I like them a lot. Boy, they put quick penalty on your performance. But the trouble is they're not compatible very well with flying online, because then you're seeing traffic that nobody else is seeing online. So I would rather fly online, even though there is nobody online today, at least not around here. There's something kind of interesting about just seeing the other aircraft out there, seeing the shared experience when other people are there, flying online with you. You just don't get that same sense of community from a from an artificial AI traffic package. It's probably silly, but a big part of why I enjoy this is the online community. Really oversteering here, so we're going to switch back to using the rudder pedals because it makes it a lot easier to steer on the straightaways. Would have been a great day to do single engine taxi, and now of course the snow stopped, so I shouldn't be doing it. It is really awkward, though. I did find my checklist for it, though. I had it here somewhere. But it's really awkward, and even with the checklist, I don't know the flows very well. I will try it, though. The next time we have a decent taxi out, and we're at an airport where it's not snowing or raining, even rain is enough to dissuade people from doing single-engine taxi. Because again, it's a question of control. Asymmetric thrust is not generally a big issue, but the second you start to introduce a lower coefficient of friction on the pavement, whether it be snow or even just rain, because one thing when you do single-engine taxi is, and I don't know. I think this airplane does simulate it somewhat realistically, but you are constantly correcting against the engine that's running. The engine that's running, usually the right engine, is always trying to push you to the left, and you're constantly steering to the right to counteract it more than usual. So anytime there's contamination, it can potentially, you lose the ability to have as fine a level of control. You need to worry more about controlling things. So single engine taxi is one of those things that's great to save money whenever you can. Great to save fuel and money whenever you can, but it's not something that is going to be done every single flight. There's always conditions that may require you not to do it. Any kind of major failures of the hydraulic systems in this aircraft, electrical failures on the number 2 engine of any kind, any generators on the number 2 side failing, those are all reasons not to do single engine taxi. And anytime you just don't think it's safe for whatever reason, if you know you've got a sharp right turn, one thing if you do have to do sharp right turns, you have to carry a lot of momentum into the turn, because you cannot start this airplane rolling with the right engine running in a right turn. You have to at least straighten out and gain some momentum and then start the right turn again. So if you know you have a sharp right turn onto a gate coming up, it's another good reason not to do single engine taxi. Before takeoff checklist, to the line.
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure.
That's not right. Well, supposed to do that with a taxi, sorry.
FAA notification received. Takeoff briefing complete. Cabin PA complete. Condition letters.
Max.
Max. Trims.
3 set.
3 set. Takeoff warning test.
Tested.
Flight controls checked and free. Flight taxi.
Flight.
Radar terrain. Transponder TCAS on out. Before takeoff checklist completed to the line.
Edmonton traffic. This is Encore 8985, taking position runway 30 for departure, Edmonton to departure. Quick look over there, I don't see anybody coming. Straighten out. below the line.
Leadsman on. External lights on. Runway.
Runway 30, heading 300. Runway 30, heading 300. Runway 30, heading 300.
Before takeoff, checklist complete.
There we go. Alright. Things on. Takeoff. Check power. Check power.
Power checked. Knots.
Checked.
B1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear up. Acceleration altitude.
Flap 0, IAS 200, climb checklist to the line. Heading hold, IAS 200.
Are you sure?
Autopilot on.
Autopilot is on. Climb checklist completed to the line.
Checked.
1,000 to go.
Alt cell.
Check.
Heading mode.
Check.
Select heading. Select heading cell.
Heading selected.
There you go. And let's go ahead and do a DTO to number 5 Anted. And away we go. And we're already up in the clouds. We should have the prop heat on for this. Too busy focused on getting the airplane flying, not even worrying about the de-ice. Okay, so I got level 2. Got IS 200, there we are, left turning to Anted. Farewell, Edmonton, I don't think we're going to see you again for a while. Pity, because it is nice scenery. But we are now moving onwards with our pilot's career. We're going to see Calgary a lot. That's one thing we are going to see a lot is Calgary. Let's get that yaw rudder center there. Maybe a little bit too far now. There we go. There we go, looking good. Enjoy some of my coffee and away we go. Now, one thing for the astute observer that you may or may not notice is that since my last stream, some of you may have noticed that Orbx had a sale last week. They had a 50% off Leap Day sale. As a result, my sim now features Open Land Class North America. And the biggest difference you notice with the Open Land Class that I've noticed thus far is suddenly there's a real lack of repetition in the ground textures. I can't find a repeating pattern in the ground textures anymore. And it's silly, but like these things make a real difference when you start to notice, when you're at especially at higher altitudes, you notice the repeating pattern. It immediately makes you say, yep, that's a sim. I see the repeating terrain. The second you get rid of that, it's amazing how just again, little things make it look so much better sometimes. Of course, now I can't see too much out there, but once we get to Calgary too, hopefully you'll see the same thing again. But I do like it. It added another level, and for the price, for the 50% off sale, it was a pretty good deal. Below the line.
Climb checklist complete.
Thank you. Looks like a pretty nice day, so we'll take the seatbelts off there. And away we go on our way to Calgary, which we're going to be there pretty quick. It's a pretty short flight here, especially once we get leveled off. So as soon as we get leveled off here, we're going to continue... we're going to already get our setup going here, because it's a pretty short flight. It's like 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how exactly it works out in the air. You know, at this point, I might as well start looking at the weather in Calgary here. Or, yeah, Calgary. 020 at 14, 280 variable round to 030. So I don't think they'd be doing 29 in that one. Seems more like it's a 3-5 left kind of day. Which is cool. I'm fine with that. So let's go ahead and how are we doing here? We got 2,000 feet to go. So let's do that. Sorry, flight plan menu arrive. Yeah, we're gonna change this to 3-5 left, because I feel like that would be the more realistic thing here. Again, runway 35 left. ILS 35 left. Flight plan, again, way to Anted. Got Immuno in there, and then Advox. So the Immuno stayed in there. Alt cell. Now I've left this one in 200 knots today. It seems like it's climbing pretty smoothly. The Dash is an airplane where often you don't want to climb in IAS mode. It's a little bit safer. Oh, why is this not sequencing now? After Anti-hit CCAN. There we go. Now it's got a continued line. It's a little bit safer for sure, but the Dash 8 is one of those airplanes that really tends to hunt at a small little gust of wind, a small little wind shift is just as you pass from one layer to another, and all of a sudden the airplane is pitching up and down and up and down, trying to keep a certain target speed. So we found, certainly my operator, we found it was a lot better. You could use IAS to sort of get an ideal pitch, but once you get to sort of the pitch you want to have, switch it out of IAS, just switch back to pitch mode. It'll hold the pitch much more steadily. This speed will fluctuate a little bit, it'll drop as you climb. You have to monitor it. But as a pilot, shouldn't you be doing that anyways? Enter that rudder trim, there we go. Alright. And a quick look here at the perf page on the FMS, and it says we've got 29 minutes until we're there, circling all the way around for 3-5 left. So pretty nice short flight today for the first one here. We'll see how the second leg goes. Time is already ticking along. My computer decided it wanted to do a reboot and reinstall some things this morning. Thank you, Windows, for your constantly needing to update things and break things that already are working. I swear I spent half my life fixing things that Windows breaks nowadays. Alright, we're just waiting to see this acceleration finish off here, and then we're going to go ahead and pull back to climb power. Or, I mean, cruise power. And as we head southbound, you know what? Let's just go ahead right now and set 2960 for Calgary. We're never going to transition at 17,000. 2960. That'll pitch down and give us a little bit of extra speed. And you know what? With that extra bit of speed, let's do it. Cruise check. There we go. I did not bring my condition levers back to the 900 position during the climb checklist because I was busy hand flying when the FO did it. So the second I started to move them, all of a sudden FSX, or sorry, prepared, recognized that they were going where they were again. So one of the few disadvantages of FS2 crew is you have to keep your throttle quadrant shadowing what FS2 crew's doing. Alright, but there we go. Alright, we got the cruise check going on nicely here. So let's go ahead and start talking about that arrival into Calgary, because it's going to come up pretty quick. So wind 02014 out of the northeast, 14 knots. Big variable winds, 280 around, variable on 030, 40 miles, few at 8,500. Beautiful day there, 2960. Pressure rising rapidly. So it looks like some fair weather is moving in then. So as I said, we're going to do the ILS to 35 left, and before I do anything else, I'm just going to have a quick little look-see here. Just going to grab that for a second. And I'm just going to find us a gate to go to in Calgary. Now, I don't think this flight exists anymore. So, the database is a little bit dated in this software. Not terribly, but a little bit dated. Some of the flights don't exist anymore, which is fine. We can make do. Just going to try and find a flight that is somewhere. Hey, here's one that's en route right now. Fantastic. They will be going to gate Alpha 72 in Calgary. Alpha 72. So keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and we got the Calgary charts here. So first of all, the Flame 6 arrival. We've got the ILS 35 left. Pin that. Taxi charts, parking positions too. Alpha 72. Very different from where we have parked in the past, but that's cool. Is that really a Dash 8 gate? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to be just curious. Hold on. Yeah, Dash 8 Q400 going to gate Alpha 72, left from 49. I going to Alpha 72. All right, way around here. Okay. Somewhere different anyway, so yeah, it's always kind of fun to do different things. The last couple times I've been up here in this corner, so yeah, let's do that. Okay, sounds good. Alright, so quick look first of all at the Flame 6 arrival. There should probably be like one altitude restriction, ad box below 16,000 and Celev at 8,000. So let's just make sure. So ad box out of below 16,000, Celev at 8,000, that's good. And while we're at it here, let's just quickly do that. There we go, 12 minutes till we have to start down. Alright. The question is, what source do you use for operator gate assignments? I use FlightAware. Simple. I just try to find, ideally I try to find the flight number for the last date that this flight actually flew. In some cases the flight numbers are outdated, in which case I'll just try to find something that's reasonably realistic. The reason I try to follow the same route is because various airports, of course, will have different gates for domestic versus transporter versus international traffic. So I try to find a matching flight, and it looks like this guy is also landing 35 left here, just to show that my decision is the right decision here for 35 left today. But yeah, so that's why I'm doing the same thing here. Just picking the gate for the exact same flight in the real world. So they're going to go to Alpha 72. So we're going to do the same thing. All right. Where was I? Okay, yes. So Navigraph charts. So we got the arrival sort of mapped out there, and let's get some frequencies in here. 111.5, inbound course 345. So let's set this to 111.5 and 111.5 and 345 is the inbound course. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Too far. 3, 4, 5 set. And then over here, because the FO is not flying his side, I can just switch his nav source. 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we got those programmed. Minimums for this approach. We're looking at Cat 1, 3742. We'll switch there. 37.42, round up to 37.50. What's the weather doing in Calgary? Is it nice now? It's +2. No cold weather temperature compensation required today. And just zoom this out a little more so I can see what we're doing there. I think we're going to start down right around the time. Do we not have the VNAV? Yeah, there's the VNAV. I guess it's after. Okay, yep, there it is. I see it. Okay, okay. And we also need landing speeds. So we probably haven't burned too much. We're probably going to be like 61 or 60,000 for landing. Let's check here. So 59.5, 60,000 pretty much. So go to my takeoff and landing data cards. 60,000. Again, long runway. Oh, just sliding into the red. We'll pull the power just back just a hair. There we go. There, it's back out of the red line. So flat 15 landing, it's a long runway. We got to really roll to the far end just to get to the gate. So we're definitely doing flat 15 landing. 124 and 114. So VREF is 124. VGO around is 114. And then fry and climb are 28 and 51. We'll put them in the back there, 28, and you can't have 28, so 30 is close enough. 30.51. There we go. And I think we got everything set up, so without further ado, are you ready for the approach briefing?
Go ahead.
Alrighty, so today we're going to be doing we're starting off with the Flame 6 arrival here into Calgary. This is on page 10-2 Gulf and effective on the 25th of April of 2019. Non-jets only, 100 miles saved, 13,800. We're joining at Secan, and then we're going to make a left turn, go to Amuno, Advox. Let's see if I can maybe turn that a little bit. Yeah, now we just need to have this up here. Amuno, Advox, that's at or below 16,000. And then we're going to have Flame, Otmag, Selev, max 210, 8,000, Meska, 210, max 210. So the only thing I see in there is Otmag, Selev, and Meska. Otmag, Selev at 8,000, Meska, and then the Vector, until we get swung around for the ILS to runway 16, correction, 35 left, my bad. 35 left. 11-5, the 20th of September 2019. Loc 111.5. We got that tuned on both nav 1 and 2. The inbound course 345. We set the glide slope at Bovix 4820, and the ILSDA of, as I said, where is it here? There it is, 3742. So we got 3750 set. Touchdown zone at 3,542 feet, which reminds me that we should set the landing field elevation for 3,520, 2,000, 3,000, 35. There we go. So here above 35. Highest MSA is southwest of the field at 6,100 feet. The missed approach is climb to 4,100. That's not the field, sorry, that's the Calgary VOR, which is east of the field. So we'll be that 6,100 sector most of the way through here. Missed approach is climbed 4,100 on a heading of 345, then a climbing left turn to 7,000, heading 315, and intercept the Calgary 297 radial to Rexub intersection. And as required, shuttle climb. Radar nav required, 100 miles saved, 13,800, simultaneous approaches with 35 right, low reliable 10 degree centerline, procedure turn is not authorized. 3-degree glide slope, Pappy's left, SSALR, 2,600 RVR, a half mile. It's a beautiful day in Calgary. A little bit of a gusty, not gusty, but just a variable wind anyways. But otherwise, it's a beautiful day in Calgary. Landing on 35 left, we'll take a convenient right turn off. If we can, we'll roll it down even to Charlie 4, maybe Charlie 2. We'll see if we can roll all the way to Charlie 4 for the quick taxi in. We'll try to do the single engine taxi in since it looks like nice weather there. Charlie 4, Juliet, and we'll probably say Juliet Sierra, Alpha 72, I believe, was right there on that last. Where is it here? Concourse D. Yeah, Concourse D. So Juliet Sierra will lead us nicely into gate 72. Hopefully it's in the scenery. terrain. Again, 6100, which is the highest MSA for the sector we're going to be in. Weather is, it's a nice day. Few at 8,540 miles, just light and variable winds. And that's about it. Operational. I didn't see any exciting NOTAMs. I'm going to go ahead and pull up SimBrief here and have a quick look at these NOTAMs just to see if anything exciting is happening in Calgary today. Let's see here. Destination Calgary. Cranes, cranes, cranes. Lots of cranes, cranes, cranes. Deicing procedures we're not going to need. And that's it. Okay, yep, so nothing exciting in there. Looks like a fairly straightforward day. Alright, and we got, what, about 6 minutes to top a drop now, probably, give or take? We got 4 minutes, there you go, pretty close. Do you have any questions?
No questions.
There you go. Don't forget to ask him that, or he's going to think the approach brief is not complete when you do the checklist. As I discovered the hard way. But it's amazing how quickly you do become kind of trained and adjusted to FS2 crew. He's a very helpful guy. Reminds you, and he reminds you of things. I mean, and that good FO will do that. The good FO is assertive and will remind you when you've forgotten something or done something wrong. He will say, "Hey, is that right? Is that really what you meant to do?" And of course, you're gonna say, "Of course, that's what I meant to do," and then you'll fix it anyways. But I do like it, and I definitely feel like it's getting better. Little by little, we're getting better at this FS2 crew thing here. Alright, looks like we're reaching the end of this cloud deck here. Starting to see some ground out there. And here we are joining the Flame 6 arrival. What do we got based on our current rate of speed? 12 minutes till arrival. We're going to sneak in there pretty fast here. Now the only thing, of course, we don't have is we don't have the top of descent alert, thank you. Advox at or below 16,000. So we're going to have to actually go down to 16,000 manually, and then we'll follow the VNAV profile thereafter. So let's do that right now before I have a chance to forget. And let's go ahead and set 16,000, that's 17 descending 15. Or sorry, 17 descending 16, alt cell. And we'll just do a quick little VS minus 1,000 here. There we go, and we're going to take a little look at speed VATSIM in a second too to see if anything exciting is happening in and around Calgary. I do have one aircraft on the ground preparing for departure. Watching that red line, I see it, I see it. We still have the props, yeah, we still have the props and windshield on. Probably going to pass through this cloud deck at some point here. Just going to level off any second. I could trim out the rudder too. I'm being a little bit lazy here. I should trim out the rudder. It's almost easier for me to just push the rudder pedal a little bit, because as soon as I bring the power back up here at the level off, we're going to have to put the rudder back in again, so the rudder trim back in again. So try and find a power setting that's going to just hold that speed just a little bit below the red line. Get there quickly without breaking the airplane. Go ahead, set 8,000 now. There's alt, so 8,000, alt cell, and VNAV is armed. And before we do anything else, because otherwise things are going to happen quickly, descent checklist to the line.
Altimeters.
2960 set cross check.
2960 set cross check. Fuel balance. Check. Pressurization set. Cabin PA. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival. Cabin PA complete. Fasten belt switch.
On.
On. Approach and landing brief.
Complete.
Complete. Descent checklist completed to the line.
There we go. Alright. I feel like we did this leg before, but last time we had ATC. That was the nice thing last time. See, now, find me the repetitive patterns here. Like, you see farm fields. They go on quite a long ways. But I'm really having a hard time now picking out a repetitive pattern. I see similar looking fields, but I don't see a pattern yet. Especially when you do high altitude flying, it makes a difference. When you're low altitude, you won't see more than a couple fields over. You won't notice repetitive patterns from ways away. But oh, and we're going down. Power back. So when you're doing high altitude flying, I think the open land class is almost more worth it. If you were doing more low altitude flying, you probably wouldn't notice it as much. But at high altitudes, the open land class, it just looks like an infinite farm fields out there. But trying to recognize a pattern, I can't find one. Simple.
Looks like we were picking up some ice.
Set airframe mode select fast. If I can get him to do it. I can't remember what the instructions are though. Hold on. Where's my cheat sheet? Where's my cheat sheet? I have a cheat sheet here somewhere. Set airframe mode to fast. Oh, I guess I have to. This is the first thing. Set airframe mode to fast. Set airframe mode to fast.
Airframe mode set to fast.
Set reference speed to increase.
Reference speed set to increase.
There we go. We got it, we got it. Descent checklist below the line. I'm not declining it. Below the line.
GPWS landing flat. Selected 10 degrees. Fuel transfer.
Off.
Off. Hydraulic pressure quantity. Check. Caution warning lights. Check. Approach and flare lights. On. Ref speeds. Switch bugs.
Off. Set.
Off. Set. FA notification. Complete. Descent checklist complete.
Set ref switch to off. Set reference speed to off.
Reference speed set to off.
Set airframe mode to off.
Airframe mode set to off.
There we go. So I'll have a 210 restriction coming up here shortly. Calgary traffic, Encore 8985 is on the Flame 6 arrival left downwind, arrival runway 35 left. Alright, so the airport's right over... There it is. Swing around for 35 left and up to the main terminal. Alright, doing good. Relatively quick leg this time around. Next one's going to be a little bit longer, so I may or may not do it. I don't know. But still have to decide. Still have to see how much time it takes, because I'm not actually aware of how long this leg is, but I think it's like an hour and 30, 40 minutes, so it may not be possible today to get this done. Alright, here comes 10,000, so let's make sure the speed's drifting back below 250. And once we get below 10,000, then we can also select our gate in GSX. How's our rudder trim doing? It's okay. And we gotta get the speed below 250 as well. Need to keep it just above the flight idle mark there. Oh, come on, GSX. What are you doing to me here? Really? Did GSX crash out on me already? Nope, maybe GSX doesn't like me today. I don't know why. It was working before. There we go.
1,000 to go.
Alt cell. 72 there. Maybe it's on Concourse D. Stop 72. I hope they haven't relabeled the gate since the scenery was created. That'd be annoying. Wouldn't be the first time though. Keep all those scenery files in the cache, guys. Alright, there's the 210 knots and the 8,000 at Mexa. I know, I didn't know you could do that. I did not know for probably 2 years after I got GSX that you could pick the gate before landing, but usually it isn't that great because usually you have like a minute or two on the downwind where you can do that. And it's not a big deal. Ice detect again. This time I'm just going to do it myself, thank you. Alright. And I'm just going to go ahead and go down to 7,000. And we're pretty much going to need to go down to Gabal to intercept the ILS at 7,000. And the MSA, I can't really go much lower, so that's all there is to it. Yeah, I had no idea. For like 2 years, I had no idea you could select it before you reached the ground. And then one day I just accidentally did it. And I'm like, oh my god, you can do this. So yeah, just takes 30 seconds while you're on downwind somewhere where you're just not doing something, where you're just watching the descent continue. The rule is you have to be below 10,000 feet and below 250 knots. GSX will not let you select a gate if you don't meet those two criteria. In real life, the gate assignment depends a lot. In most airports, usually, especially major airports, the operator will have a whole bunch of gates pre-assigned for them. But it really, like, there's so much criteria that goes into it. Like, there's one, at like a major hub, there will be one guy whose sole job is gate planning, and their sole job will be to try and pick gates for aircraft based on, obviously the aircraft type, the size of the aircraft, also what where's the aircraft going next? Like, does it, especially for, if you're coming from a international flight going to domestic, you may need to dock at a certain gate to have customs and stuff, and also, just a matter of what gates are free for how long is the airplane going to be on the ground. So it's kind of a combination of both the airport and the operator. The airport will have usually a set amount of gates for people for each airline, but then the operator will usually be responsible for picking their own gate for a particular flight. But they may sometimes have to go hat in hand to the airport and say, hey, our normal gate is blocked because we have so-and-so, such and such flight still on the gate. Can we have an additional gate, an unusual gate? And sometimes that can be done, sometimes it can't. What's going on here? Where are you going, buddy? Heading south. I don't know why you tried to roll left there. Alright, and we're going to quickly go inbound from Gabal, which is number 16. There we go. And now we're going to actually start focusing on what we're doing here. It's getting a little bit low and slow for being this far out, so let's see if we can't... since we're on heading mode, we can switch to the ILS just below the glide slope. This is going to work out okay, I think. Hopefully we don't chase the glide slope too far down. Yeah, so many things. Some airports, an operator may only have one gate if they only have one flight at a time there. So then, which gate you're going to is already assigned. It's leased from the gate, from the airport. In Edmonton, I would imagine it's a combination of, especially with WestJet, it's the airline that will pick the gate. WestJet probably has leased like 60-70% of the gates in in Calgary or Edmonton. And I need to arm the approach here. Sitting here chatting and not doing anything. Loke. Let's get the speed back. Let's get the first flap out there. So the airline itself will probably assign the particular gate, but they've leased dozens from the airport. And glide slope. And I've already forgotten, this was a while ago now. What was the go around altitude on this approach? It was 7,000. Flap 5. Oh, I guess I can't do it unless I do this. Flap 5. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Set airframe mode to off.
Airframe mode set to off.
Set reference speed to off.
Reference speed set to off.
Disregard the chime. Missed approach altitude set. Calgary traffic, Encore 8985 is a 8-mile final for runway 35 left. So in the dash, there's...
Calgary traffic, WestJet 556, taxiing 35 left via Charlie.
So in the dash, there's 2 good markers for kind of configuring for the approach. 10 miles back is when you should drop the first stage of flaps.
2500.
And then the second stage will usually happen at about 5 miles final. You'll get the gear, flap 15, condition levers before landing check, and then usually flap 35 will
Check
come at
the
about
speed.
3 miles final. Sorry, I'm not requesting it at this time. Gear down.
Gear down.
Flap 15 before landing checklist.
Flaps 15. Landing gear.
Down 3 green.
Down 3 green. Condition levers.
Max.
Max. Auxiliary standby PTU pumps. On. Leads. On and min. FA notification. Complete. Flaps.
15 planned. 15 indicated. Indicating 15, planned 15.
Indicating 15. Plan 15. Before landing checklist complete. 1000 above.
Checked. Pop my screen out. Why are we ever so slightly left of the localizer here?
1000.
Visual. See if you can spot the guy taxiing for departure. I don't know why we're so far off the center line now, so we're going to correct this ourselves. Stable. Correcting the center line.
Above.
Checked.
Minimums.
Landing.
Check.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Really don't need to slow down too quick. Right after the intersection, we'll take the next right. Almost missed it just from being too slow to decelerate. Alright, so for single engine taxi, we're going to do it properly this time. So you would command. So first, just turn that off, turn those off, then that on. Then you say condition lever 1 start feather. After landing checklist.
Okay.
Calgary traffic Encore 8985 is vacating runway 35 left on Charlie 4. We'll take the right turn on Juliet for Alpha 72.
Calgary traffic, WestJet 556, taxiing to 35 left via Charlie.
After landing checklist complete.
Checked. And one thing I didn't do, actually, the one bad thing I didn't do is I didn't start the timer, because you need 30 seconds cool down. Alright, we're trying to zip ahead of this WestJet here really quick. Here. Trouble is, when you only have one engine, you only have so much thrust. Alright, there's 30 seconds. Check that the hydraulic pressure's holding. And you can do condition lever 1 fuel off. And that's it. That's single engine taxi right there for taxi in. It's really easy for taxi in, it really is. As you can see, I've got a lot of power going here. I've got the power lever there right against the control lock. And it's just not, it's getting enough power to keep me going. But now here's something else for you Dash 8 drivers out there too. Whenever you see the engines off, the hockey stick, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You'll always see the same 5 lights whenever an engine is off. If you see the other engine go off, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But they always call it the hockey stick here in Canada because it's 4 straight down and then a little L off to the side. But that's your standard engine shutdown right there. 4 yellow lights and 1 red light. And one thing you can't really tell, if you look down here you can tell, I'm using a lot of right rudder to keep this airplane in a straight line. It's not an unreasonable amount, but it does take a lot more effort to make an airplane flop taxi straight line when you're only taxiing on single engine. Well, that's the thing too. In a place like Calgary, Montreal's the same way. You don't need to use a lot of brakes. Some people, you know, they slam on the brakes right away. It's a judgment call, you know. If the runway's short, if there's any issues, of course, you'll use as much brake as you need. But sometimes you don't need that much. And certainly in a long runway in a Dash 8, you just throw it into a little bit of disc. I didn't even use full disking there. I just basically had it at idle, and it was enough to slow me down. Here's Juliet Sierra. I think I see our luggage cart over there, so it looks like Alpha 72 is in the right area. I'm not sure why we're in like the middle of like the beautiful international terminal, but anyways. That was the gate assigned. That's the gate we're using. But yeah, Montreal's another one where very often when you're landing the 2-4s and the terminal is at the far end of the runway, there's no need to hit the brakes and get off quickly. They're going to want you to roll to the end and get off at the end. So you just bring it to idle, maybe a little bit of disc, and it's more than enough to slow you down. The Dash 8 slows down great on its own. And at certain airports, you barely even need to touch the brakes. I have not really touched the brakes yet. I use the brakes just... The only thing I've used the brakes for thus far was just to stop there while we were doing a quick little after landing flow. Otherwise, I haven't even really touched the brakes yet. Alright, so that looks like our guy's over there. Oh, there he is. I see him. Oh, he's right there. Okay, okay, I gotcha. Okay. Set taxi light to off.
Taxi light sets off.
Alright, so as you approach the gate area in the Dash 8, especially single engine taxi, have another look. Make sure you've got pressure in the number 1 system. Oop, shoot. I was looking a little too carefully there. Make sure the hydraulic pump, standby hydraulic pump's on, and you've got pressure in the number 1 system. So crucial. Because if you're using a lot of disking, you'll never touch the brakes until you suddenly get to the gate, and that's when you suddenly realize, now I have a brake failure. You know, in a jet, you'll be using the brakes the whole time. You'll realize it sooner, but the Dash 8, it's so easy to fall in that trap. You use disking a lot, like a good captain, like a good pilot should, and then you get to the gate, and you don't know that you don't have the brakes until you try to hit them right about now, and like, oh, crud, I don't have brakes. Alright, so those should go off. Those go off. Ah, wrong button. Parking checklist to the line.
Taxi light.
Off.
Emergency brake.
Park.
No steering.
Off.
Standby PTU pumps.
Off.
Power levers.
Disc.
Condition levers.
Start feather.
Transponder.
Standing by.
VATSIM belt switch.
Off.
Leads.
Min off.
Parking checklist completed to the line.
There's 30 seconds. Below the line.
External power APU.
I didn't do that yet. Cockpit to ground. Flight cockpit to ground. Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
Please connect external power.
Roger, connecting the GPU.
Oops. Forgot about that part. I thought I was doing such a nice parking flow. And a good FO will have switched to the electrical page. Oh.
Captain, the GPU is now connected.
GPU is on, APU is off. APU is off, GPU is on. What does he want to hear? He wants to hear. Oh. External power is on, APU is off.
Condition levers.
Fuel off.
Lights.
Set.
Emergency light switch.
Off.
Standby, auxiliary, main, and battery master.
Batteries off.
Parking checklist complete.
Alright, we're here. I'm not sure if this is a Control J. Yeah, it's Control J, there it is. Alright, we're here. We made it, another leg done. Why am I not on the current flight page? No, it did. It cycled to that page automatically. Okay, good, perfect. And, yeah, let's offload some people, some baggage, and away we go. Wow. The bridge might have been a bit overkill. Oh, boy. Oh, well. Not a perfect system. The bridge just tried to eat the airplane. Anyways, it's another leg done. So thank you guys very much for watching that one. I hope you've enjoyed this one. It was a quick leg. It was a short one. We've done it before, but it's nice to also be in a different part of Calgary. It's a nice airport. Very, very large. Lots of different gates to go to. So it's nice to be, different parts of this airport. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this leg, and I'm going to just quickly do some sim brief stuff here and see how well the next leg's going to work out for us here. So stay tuned.